Hello, my name is Ruth Aguilera. I'm the Brodsky Trustee Professor of Global Business at Northeastern University. Today, I'm addressing those of you who have never considered submitting a manuscript to AMR because you are an empiricist or because you simply do not do theory. Maybe you should give it a try. The Academy of Management Review is a standalone AOM journal dedicated solely to theory. It was founded in 1976 as a spin-off from AMJ. Why not develop your ideas further in a more conceptual way? When you conceptualize an empirical paper, whether qualitative or quantitative, in your research design, you think about the puzzle or research question that you want to tackle, the main concepts and how you're going to operationalize those concepts into constructs. You will also talk about the relationships and the mechanisms that you will be testing or uncovering as you go to tackle your research question. Therefore, any study, any research has an unconscious or deliberate theorizing process at some level. So what is really theory? I'm a great fan of this AMR by Sam Bacharach, and he describes theory as a statement of relationships between units observed or approximated in an empirical world. The goal of theory is to answer the questions of how, when, and why, as opposed to describing answers that would refer to the what. Let me read to you the AMR's mission. AMR publishes theoretical insights that advance our understanding of management and organizations. Submissions to AMR must extend theory in ways that develop testable knowledge-based claims. Therefore, please notice that there has to be knowledge that has to be empirically testable. There are at least 4 different ways that you can do this if you look at our website. You can develop new management and organizational theory. You can significantly challenge or clarify existing theory. You can synthesize recent advances and ideas into fresh, if not entirely new theory. And finally, you can initiate a search for new theory by identifying and delineating a novel theoretical contributions. So, as you can see, there are many different ways that you can do theory. And for those of you who are empiricists and you think, oh, I don't do theory. And many times, and basically theory emanates from more normal science disciplines, whether it's sociology, economics, psychology, or even from political philosophy. So to stay on this topic, I really like this article from Andy van de Ven that has an AMR. It was an editorial article of Theory, a special issue, where he says that nothing is quite as practical as a good theory. And he states, I'm reading here, I'm quoting, "A good theory is practical because it advances knowledge in a scientific discipline, guides research towards crucial questions, and in my own word, I would add, it provides the right infrastructure to build empirical research." So what does an AMR manuscript allows you to do? So in between 25 and 30 pages, you have the opportunity to really develop further some theoretical concepts, whether it is embeddedness, transaction cost, legitimation, power, conflict, emotions, etc. You can, in 25 pages, 30 pages, you can really develop those concepts and go deep and develop a framework where you can think about the counterfactuals, you can put examples, you can relate it to what you know, you can relate it to what we don't know, and it's also very important to have those visuals, like to have a table or to have a graph or a figure. It's also, I think for empiricists, it's nice to know that there are how-to articles in AMR, such as Anne Langley's article, Strategies for Processing Theorizing, or Kathleen Eisenhardt, Building Theories for a Case Study Research. And in one of the latest issues of AMR, with my co-authors, we published this paper on capturing causal complexity. So, to conclude, what are the next steps if you want to jump in and try this out. Try to do, if you're an empiricist and you want to try to be more explicit, more deliberate about laying out your theory. I suggest, first of all, that you read some AMRs in your field. Second of all, that you become a reviewer, or I'm sure you have heard about our Bridge Reviewer program, and that will give you like the shadow way, you can shadow how things are done at AMR. Another way could be, to attend an idea development workshop where you can test your theory, your concept, and you get a lot of very good feedback. This could be virtually or in person. And then get started writing. I have to say to you that from my experience to write AMRs and my co-authors, that it's a lot of fun because it's really, really liberating to think that you don't have to go and test it. It's just like that first step where you can really go deep and complement your ideas. So I hope this was useful for all of you. Hello, I'm addressing those of you who have never considered submitting a manuscript to AMR because you are an empiricist or you just simply don't do theory. What is theory? Maybe you should give it a try. The Academy of Management Review is a standalone journal of the Academy ecosystem of papers that was founded in 1976 as a spin-out of the AMJ. So why not to develop further your ideas, your conceptual ideas in a full-fledged paper? Think about it. When you conceptualize an empirical paper, whether it's qualitative or quantitative, in your research design, you have to first think about your research question that you're going to tackle and the boundaries of that research question. Then you have to identify the concepts and define the concepts, and then from the concepts you move to the constructs, how you're going to operationalize that one concept into 2 or 3 constructs. And then the next step is to really understand the relationships between those, to test the relationships between those constructs. So this is very much, when you're doing empirical work, deliberately or unconsciously, you are doing that theoretical exercise. Like in an AMJ, it would be the first part of the article, and in an AMR would be to really develop that further in a full-fledged article. So what is theory? I really like the quote from Sam Bacharach. A theory is a statement of relationships between units observed or approximate from the empirical world. So the goal in theory is to answer the questions of how, when, and why, not as much to answer the questions of what.